hear me out. Tattoo tour. I know so many of you have wanted me to do this for a long time. The reason I've yet to is I'm not really sure what you all want to hear from me. So I'm just going to talk and I guess we'll see what happens. I've been getting tattooed for almost 20 years. I've been tattooed by so many different artists, different cities I've lived in, different places I've traveled to, when I was on the road for work, when I played music. My tattoos for me kind of tell me my story. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, I got that when I was 16. I got that when I was 25. I got that from this person. I got that tattoo when I was in this state of mind. Like, that's what they do for me. I look at them and their memory of what I've done and where I've been and who I've become and who I was. I have so many tattoos and I don't even know where to start, but we're going to start with this arm because this was the first that I started with. When I was 17, 18 years old, I was just like, man, I don't want a bunch of dark tattoos. Like, I want color work. So that's what I did. This was one of the first on this arm, this purple lotus. A lotus is a very spiritual flower for anybody that doesn't know that. And the color purple in a lotus is very rare. A purple lotus specifically, symbolizes self-awakening and harmony and balance within oneself. This is kind of just a reminder for me to remain self-aware and to stay grounded. The first that I got on this arm actually was this. It's 3 roses and there's a bird, little birdie. 3 roses together symbolize, like, if you get a little bouquet with 3 roses, that's the trinity of love. It symbolizes, like, I love you or I miss you. 3 roses is love, loyalty, and trust. A lot of the stuff on this arm means something to me, and then other stuff, like this little band, was just like a little spot where I needed filler, and I was like, let me just slap something in there that goes with the theme. Sunflowers, it's my favorite flower. I love sunflowers. There's something about sunflowers that's just always made me happy. You're cruising down the road somewhere you've never been before and you see a field of sunflowers. Like, it's just enlightening. Like, you want to stop your car, hit the brakes, run out, and just go run through it. Like, if I'm ever going to receive flowers, I prefer sunflowers. They just make me happy. They always have. I have mom and dad tattoos on my hands. My mother. It's difficult to even begin with that. I wouldn't be who I am without my mother. She's been my hero. She's whom I've shadowed my entire life. When I wake up every day, I try every day to be more like her. She's the most selfless person I know. She goes out of her way every single day to do selfless acts for other people without expecting anything in return. She brings people food. She cleans people's houses. She cleans up people's yards. She is the brightest person in the room at any moment. She smiles. She talks to strangers. When she comes to Louisville here, I'll take her downtown and she'll take selfies with the guys working at the pizza places. It's like she is constantly trying to spread love and kindness, and I'm sure many of you can see that through me. My mother is my hero. Try not to get emotional about that. This is my dad tattoo. I don't have a relationship with my father. That's a personal story, a long story, but I'm gonna represent him. I wouldn't be here without him. I have baby face tattooed in the webs of my hands. This one just says baby. I know many of you want to know the story behind the face tattoos. You just get to a point, like, look at me. And I was like, fuck it. Like, I might as well put some on my face. This tattoo here says Lost Boy. I know many of you can't read it because this camera's flipped. There's a lot of meaning behind that. Just whether it was, I was kind of lost in life, didn't know where I wanted to go or who I wanted to be, but also, I'm not a Disney adult, okay, but if you've seen Peter Pan, The Lost Boys, I just always loved The Lost Boys and Peter Pan. They have this, like, unbound, gratuitous, like, just free, happy, childlike demeanor that they carry in those movies. The whole never grow up. Like, that's who I am. Like, I tried very hard to symbolize that myself. You see all these men throughout life that as they grow, they just become grumpy and unpleasant to be around, for lack of better words. And that's the opposite of who I want to be or who I want to become as a man as I grow. Like, I want people to feel pleasant in my company, and I want to carry that joyous, lighthearted energy for the rest of my life as I grow. Like, never grow up, Lost Boy. I grew up in the 90s, so I grew up seeing tons of men and women with tattoos, whether that be the men with the skull and crossbones, or the naked lady, or the barbed wire, the dagger. Or you see all these like beautiful women with these butterfly tattoos, and I was like, man, when I grow up, I want that. Like, I want to be covered in all these cool tattoos. But I saw all the men with all these like dark tattoos that were like intimidating, and I didn't want to be represented that way. Like, I wanted my tattoos to kind of reflect on the outside who I am and how I feel on the inside. So I covered myself in just like floral, bright, colorful tattoos. Like, I'll go to the grocery store, and I'll be shopping, and these sweet little old women will run up to me in the grocery store, like, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, like, I love your tattoos. They're so pretty, so bright. Like, I love," and that's what I want. Like, I want my tattoos to be welcoming, not to intimidate people. I feel like tattoos can mean so many different things, or they can represent so many different things. Like, whether I give you deep meaning for something or give you a story behind something. Some of my tattoos are just simply to be kind of an aesthetic representation of self-expression. Like, for lack of, like, they fucking look cool. Like, this one, everybody's like, what's the story behind that? Like, why'd you get that? Because I thought it looked cool. I thought getting like a red ink face tattoo to kind of pop against all of this like blue color work and the tone of my skin was just a good idea. I was like, I think this will look fucking cool. And that's why I got that. If any of you have ever taken the time to really look up like what flowers symbolize, or the meaning behind any specific flower, I'm sure many of you will understand quickly why I am covered in flowers. Like, I'm sure many of you have seen the peony on me, which is known often to symbolize, like bashfulness and shyness, or honor, love, prosperity, happiness. For anybody that has really watched my content over the years or knows anything about me or about who I am, like the fox, it often symbolizes like intelligence or resilience, but a fox is also kind of sneaky and kind of witty and kind of sly, and like I try to put that energy into my content. That's who I am. Like, I like to be a good person, but I like to be playful and fun and flirty, and it's kind of the same with the owl on my chest. Owls symbolize like wisdom and insight and intelligence and knowledge, and I don't need to take my shirt off. You guys have seen me with my shirt off a fucking 100 times. Like, got the owl on my chest. I have a tattoo down my spine. It says, "Damned is a man who abandons himself." Trying to keep this somewhat PG. Okay. I feel like that tattoo kind of explains itself. Let me lead with, I'm not here to offend anyone. These are what these tattoos mean to me. And, this is my belief system. But I got that tattoo as kind of a reminder to continue to show up for myself and be the best version of me, throughout my life, and continue to grow. Like, damned is a man who abandons himself. You see all these men that become overweight and become depressed and stop caring about themselves, or stop putting energy into their lives or their significant others, or just many, many, many things. That is a reminder for me to have pride and have confidence and be self-assured and continue to just be the best version of me every day. And before anyone says it, yes, I understand. My back is bare in comparison to the rest of my body. Like, tattoos take time. I've been getting tattooed for almost 20 years now. I started when I was 14. I turned 34 this year. It'll happen in time. Like, I'm in no rush. I have another 20 years to get tattooed. There's no reason to rush it. I think tattoos are fun. I like them to have somewhat of a meaning to me. When I figure out what I want on my back, I'll put more on there. I only have like a minute and a half left in this video, so I didn't get to cover my legs or anything, but I want to have a little time left to just talk. Tattoos do not make a person who they are, okay? What's on the inside is what makes a person who they are. And if you judge someone based on their appearance, there's a good possibility that you could potentially miss out on someone that's really special. I'm not saying that's me. I just mean that in a general sense. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. Tattoos used to be correlated with, a slave or a prisoner of war. That was in the 5th century. Or tattoos used to be linked or correlated with gang activity and many things like back in the day. It's 2025. If you're still judging people based on their appearance, especially tattoos, I think you're the problem, and I think you need to open your mind a bit. So yeah, there's my tattoo tour. I'm not sure what anyone was expecting, but that is what I have to give. I like to express myself. I love to cover my body in beautiful, colorful art. I think it's fun, and I think it's a fun way to live. I'm a very free spirit, and I feel like this helps represent that.